Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to embark on a culinary journey, a rite of passage, a skill that will serve you for the rest of your days. We are going to learn how to fry an egg. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Frying an egg sounds so simple, almost too simple to need a whole video about it. But the beauty of a fried egg is in its simplicity, and mastering that simplicity is a true art form. We're not going to use any fancy gadgets or expensive hard-to-find ingredients. No truffle oil, no Himalayan pink salt, no copper pans forged in the fires of a distant mountain. We are going to use the things you almost certainly have in your kitchen right now. This is about you, a pan, a stove, and an egg. It's a beautiful relationship and we're going to nurture it. The goal here is to create something truly delicious, comforting, and perfect using the bare minimum. A perfectly fried egg can make a simple piece of toast feel like a gourmet meal. It can turn a bowl of rice into a satisfying dinner. It is a symbol of self-reliance. If you can fry an egg, you can feed yourself, and that is a powerful thing. So let's push aside all the complicated recipes and the intimidating cooking shows. Let's get back to basics and focus on one single, solitary, magnificent egg. We will walk through this process step by step from the refrigerator to the plate. We will talk about the pan, the heat, the fat, the flip, and the finish. By the end of this, you will be able to fry an egg with confidence and pride. You will be able to cook for yourself, for your friends, for your family, and know that you are giving them something made with care. So take a deep breath, clear your counter, and let's begin this adventure together. Let's learn how to fry an egg. First, let's talk about our tools. The vessel for our creation, the pan. You do not need a state-of-the-art, space-age material pan. A simple, basic non-stick skillet is your best friend here. If you have one, grab it. It doesn't need to be expensive. The ones you can get at any big box store for a few dollars will work wonders. The key is the non-stick surface. This surface is designed to prevent food from, well, sticking. This is incredibly important for an egg because an egg is delicate. It wants to weld itself onto hot metal, and a non-stick pan creates a beautiful slippery barrier that lets our egg glide around like a figure skater. If you don't have a non-stick pan, don't worry. You can use a regular stainless steel or even a cast iron skillet. However, if you use one of these, our section on fat will be even more important for you. For now, let's just focus on the ideal, which is a simple, non-stick skillet. The size of the pan matters a little bit. An 8-inch or 10-inch skillet is perfect for 1 or 2 eggs. If you use a pan that's too big, the fat will spread out too thin and the egg might cook unevenly. If the pan is too small, the egg will feel cramped. So, an 8 or 10-inch non-stick skillet is our weapon of choice. Make sure it's clean and dry. Any little bits of food left over from your last meal will burn and ruin the taste of our pristine egg. Any drops of water will sizzle and spit violently when we add our fat. So, a clean, dry, non-stick skillet. That's tool number 1. Next up, we need something to maneuver our egg. This is the job of the spatula. Again, simplicity is key. A thin, flexible spatula is ideal. It can be silicone, plastic, or even a thin metal one, often called a fish turner. The key is that it needs to be thin enough to slide cleanly under the delicate, cooked white of the egg without tearing it or breaking the precious yolk. A big, thick, clunky spatula is the enemy of a beautifully fried egg. It will push the egg around, mangle the edges, and poses a high risk to the integrity of the yolk. We want to preserve the yolk at all costs, at least until we're ready to eat it. So, find the thinnest, most nimble spatula in your drawer. If you have a couple of options, pick the one that feels light and flexible in your hand. This will be your extension, your surgical tool for performing the delicate operation of moving the egg from the pan to the plate. If you only have a thicker spatula, you can still make it work. You will just need to be extra gentle and careful. Imagine you are trying to slide a piece of paper under the egg. That is the level of finesse we are aiming for. So, we have our pan and our spatula. We're almost ready for the main event. Now, let's talk about the star of the show, the egg itself. It might seem like any egg will do, and to some extent that's true. An egg is an egg, but fresher eggs tend to perform better. A fresh egg will have a firmer white that holds its shape nicely around the yolk. An older egg will have a thinner, more watery white that spreads out a lot in the pan. You'll still get a fried egg, but it might not be as picture perfect. How can you tell if an egg is fresh without cracking it? Well, there's a date on the carton, which is a good place to start. But a fun trick is the float test. Place an egg in a bowl of water. If it sinks and lies flat on its side, it's very fresh. If it stands up on one end at the bottom, it's a few weeks old but still fine to eat. If it floats to the surface, it's quite old, and you might want to use it for something else or discard it. For our purposes, any egg that sinks is good to go. We're going to take our egg out of the refrigerator a few minutes before we cook it. Letting it sit on the counter for 10 to 15 minutes allows it to come up to room temperature. A room temperature egg will cook more evenly than a fridge, cold egg. A cold egg hitting a hot pan can sometimes result in a slightly rubbery white because the bottom cooks so much faster than the top. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a small step that can elevate your egg from good to great. So pick your egg, let it warm up a little on the counter while you get everything else ready. Admire it. It's a small, perfect package of potential. The final piece of our preparation puzzle is the fat. The fat is crucial. It does 3 things for us. First, it prevents the egg from sticking even in a non-stick pan. It's our insurance policy. Second, it helps to conduct heat from the pan to the egg, ensuring it cooks evenly and gets those delicious crispy edges. Third, it adds flavor. A lot of flavor. You have 2 very simple, common choices here, butter or oil. Let's discuss them. Butter is fantastic. It adds a rich, nutty, creamy flavor to the egg that is just divine. When the butter melts and starts to foam, it's a beautiful sight, and it tells you the pan is ready. The downside to butter is that it can burn at a lower temperature than oil. We need to be careful with our heat. A small pat of butter is all you need, maybe half a tablespoon. You can use salted or unsalted, it's up to you. If you use salted butter, you might want to use a little less salt on the egg later. Your second choice is oil. A neutral oil like vegetable, canola, or grapeseed oil is a great option. They have a higher smoke point, meaning they can get hotter than butter without burning. This is great for getting really crispy, lacy edges on your egg whites if that's what you like. They don't add as much flavor as butter, which allows the pure flavor of the egg to shine through. Olive oil is another option. It has a nice flavor, but use a regular olive oil, not the expensive extra virgin kind, as the high heat can ruin its delicate taste. About a teaspoon of oil is all you need, so the choice is yours. Do you want the rich flavor of butter or the high heat crisping power of oil? For a beginner, oil might be a little more forgiving because it's less likely to burn, but the taste of a butter-fried egg is something special. Today, let's go with butter for that classic flavor. Okay, the moment of truth has arrived. Our pan is on the stove, our spatula is ready, our egg is patiently waiting, our butter is standing by. It's time to apply heat. This is perhaps the most important variable in the entire process. The temperature of your pan will determine the texture of your egg. We are aiming for a medium, low to medium heat. If the heat is too high, the bottom of the egg will burn before the white on top has a chance to set. The result is a crispy, possibly burnt bottom and a raw, jiggly top. Not ideal. If the heat is too low, the egg will take forever to cook, and it will absorb a lot of fat, potentially becoming greasy. It also won't develop those lovely crispy edges. So, medium-low is our sweet spot. Turn your stove burner on to just below the halfway point. Let the pan sit on the heat for a minute or two to warm up. Don't put the fat in a cold pan. A hot pan is key to a non-stick experience. How do you know when the pan is ready? This is where our butter comes in. Take your pat of butter and place it in the pan. It should melt pretty quickly and start to sizzle and foam gently. If it immediately turns brown and smells burnt, your pan is too hot. Take it off the heat, let it cool down, wipe it out, and start again. If the butter just melts slowly and doesn't sizzle, the pan is too cool. Give it another minute. The sound we're listening for is a gentle, happy sizzle. Once the butter is melted and lightly foaming, swirl the pan around to coat the entire bottom surface. Now the stage is set. The pan is a perfect buttery canvas waiting for our artist's stroke. Cracking the egg. This step can cause a lot of anxiety. The fear of getting shell in your beautiful fried egg is real, but we can conquer this fear. The number 1 rule is, do not crack the egg on the sharp edge of the pan or the side of a bowl. When you do that, the sharp edge pushes the shell inwards, making it very likely that small fragments will break off and fall into your egg. The best way to crack an egg is on a flat, hard surface, like your countertop. Hold the egg firmly in your hand and give it one confident, firm tap on the counter. The goal is to create one clean crack around the middle of the egg without shattering it. Don't be timid. A timid tap will just create a bunch of tiny spiderweb cracks that are hard to open cleanly. A single, firm rap is what you want. Once you have that crack, position the egg over the pan, close to the surface. Gently place your thumbs on either side of the crack and pull the two halves of the shell apart. The egg should slide out cleanly into the hot, buttery pan. If you do get a small piece of shell in the egg, don't panic. The easiest way to get it out is to use one of the empty shell halves. The sharp edge of the shell works like a magnet to attract the little fragment. Just dip it in and scoop it out. It works much better than trying to fish it out with your finger or a fork. With the egg now in the pan, you should hear that gentle sizzle. It's the sound of success. Now we watch and wait. The egg is in the pan and the magic is happening. The heat is transforming the liquid proteins in the egg white, turning them from clear to opaque. This is the cooking process. Our job right now is to control the heat and decide what kind of fried egg we want to make. There are a few main styles. The first and simplest is sunny side up. This is where the egg is cooked without flipping. The white sets and the yolk remains completely liquid and warm. To achieve this, we keep the heat on medium-low. You'll see the edges of the white start to set first. They might even get a little brown and crispy, which is delicious. The white closer to the yolk will take longer to cook. You can help it along by gently tilting the pan and using your spatula to spoon some of the hot butter from the pan over the whites. This is called basting. It helps to set the top of the egg without having to flip it. You'll know it's done when all of the clear, raw white has turned opaque, but the yolk is still bright yellow-orange and jiggles when you gently shake the pan. This usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes. At this point, you can season it. A little sprinkle of salt and a grind of black pepper is all you need. The salt not only adds flavor, but also helps to draw out a little moisture and finish setting the whites. Don't season it too early, as it can sometimes affect the texture. Right at the end is perfect. But what if you don't like a completely runny yolk, or you're a little wary of the very top of the whites not being fully cooked? Then you'll want to explore the over styles of eggs. This involves flipping the egg. This is where your thin spatula is a hero. Let's start with over easy. An over easy egg is flipped for just a moment, maybe 10 to 20 seconds. The goal is to set the very top layer of the egg white and slightly warm the yolk, but keep the yolk completely liquid inside. So, once your egg has reached the sunny side up stage where the whites are mostly set, it's time to perform the flip. Slide your thin spatula carefully and completely under the egg. Make sure you get under the yolk as well for support. Take a breath. In one smooth, confident motion, lift the egg and turn your wrist to flip it over. Be gentle. Don't flick it up into the air like they do in the movies, just a simple, controlled turn. Let it cook on the other side for just a few seconds. You can count to 10. Then, slide the spatula back under and flip it back over onto the plate, or just slide it out of the pan. You've done it. You have a beautiful over-easy egg with a fully cooked white and a warm, runny yolk ready to burst. Next on the scale of doneness is over-medium. This is for people who like their yolk a little bit jammy, not completely liquid, but not hard either. It's a happy middle ground. The process starts exactly the same as over-easy. You cook the egg until the whites are set. You slide your spatula underneath. You perform the gentle flip, but this time you let it cook on the second side for a little longer, maybe about 30 to 45 seconds. This extra time allows the heat to penetrate the yolk and begin to set it. The result is an egg where the outer ring of the yolk is soft and custardy, but the very center is still a little bit runny. It's a fantastic texture. When you cut into it, you get the best of both worlds. A little bit of liquid gold and a little bit of creamy, jammy goodness. This is a very popular style, and for good reason. It's a little more robust than an over-easy egg and perfect for putting in a sandwich, as it's less likely to make a huge mess. Once your 30 or so seconds are up, slide it out of the pan and onto your plate. Season it and prepare to be delighted. Finally, we have the over-well or over-hard egg. This is for those who want the yolk cooked all the way through. No liquid, no jamminess. Just a solid, fully cooked yolk. There are 2 ways to achieve this. The first is to follow the same flipping procedure but let it cook on the second side for a full minute or 2. To ensure the yolk cooks completely without the outside burning, you can gently press down on the yolk area with your spatula after you flip it. This breaks the yolk and allows it to spread out and cook through quickly. This is often called a fried egg, yolk broken. The second method, if you want to keep the yolk intact but still cook it solid, is to flip it, lower the heat just a little bit more, and let it cook for a couple of minutes on the second side. This gentle heat will allow the yolk to cook through without making the whites tough and rubbery. An over-well egg is sturdy and perfect for breakfast sandwiches where you absolutely cannot have any drips. It's a matter of personal preference. There is no right or wrong way to like your egg. The goal is to cook the egg exactly how you, the eater, will enjoy it most. So whether it's sunny side up, over easy, over medium, or over well, the power is in your hands. Let's quickly recap the entire process from start to finish. It's simpler than it sounds when you break it down. Step 1. Choose your tools. A non-stick pan and a thin spatula. Step 2. Prepare your ingredients. Take your fresh egg out of the fridge to let it warm up a bit. Choose your fat, either butter or oil. Step 3. Heat the pan. Place the pan over medium-low heat and let it get warm. Add your fat and let it melt and shimmer. Step 4. Crack the egg. Crack it on a flat surface and gently open it into the pan. Step 5. Cook the egg. Let the whites set for about 2 to 3 minutes. During this time, decide on your preferred style. If you want sunny side up, baste the whites with hot fat until they are opaque. If you want an over-style egg, prepare for the flip. Step 6. The flip. Slide your spatula under the egg and gently turn it over. Cook for 10 seconds for over easy, 30 seconds for over medium, or a minute or 2 for over well. Step 7. The finish. Slide your masterpiece out of the pan and onto a plate. Season with salt and pepper. Step 8. Enjoy. This is the most important step. Take a moment to appreciate the perfect egg you have just cooked with your own 2 hands. Now, what do you do with this perfect egg? The possibilities are as endless as they are simple. The most classic pairing is with toast. A piece of simple toasted bread is the perfect vehicle for a fried egg. If you made a runny yolk egg, the toast is there to sop up every last drop of that liquid gold. You can butter the toast or leave it plain. You can place the egg on top and eat it with a knife and fork, or you can make a sandwich out of it. Another beautiful and simple way to serve a fried egg is on top of a bowl of plain white rice. This is a staple in many cultures around the world. The heat of the rice warms the egg, and the runny yolk creates a rich, creamy sauce that coats every grain. A little splash of soy sauce on top, and you have a surprisingly satisfying and complete meal. You can also put a fried egg on top of leftover pasta, a simple salad, or even a bowl of soup. It adds protein, richness, and a touch of comfort to almost any savory dish. Think of the fried egg not just as a breakfast food, but as an all-purpose meal enhancer. It's a quick and easy way to turn something simple into something special. Let's talk about some common problems in troubleshooting. What if your egg sticks to the pan? This usually happens for one of 3 reasons. The pan wasn't hot enough when you added the egg, you didn't use enough fat, or your non-stick pan is old and has lost its non-stick coating. To avoid this, make sure you preheat your pan properly and use that small amount of butter or oil. If you have an older pan, you might need to use a little extra fat to be safe. What if your yolk breaks when you crack the egg or when you flip it? It happens to everyone, don't worry about it. A broken yolk egg still tastes delicious. It will just cook more like an over-well egg. Just let it cook through and enjoy it. It's rustic. What if your whites are rubbery? This is almost always a sign of cooking the egg on heat that is too high. The high heat cooks the proteins too quickly, causing them to tense up and become tough. The key to tender whites is gentle, medium-low heat. Remember, we are not in a race. Good things take time, even if it's only 3 minutes. What if the edges of my egg get too crispy or burnt? Again, this is a heat management issue. If you like soft, tender edges, use a lower heat. If you love those crispy, lacy brown edges, use a slightly higher heat, maybe a solid medium, and probably use oil instead of butter. You can control the outcome by controlling the temperature of the pan. Cooking is all about paying attention and making small adjustments. So there you have it. That is everything you need to know to make a simple, perfect, life-changing fried egg. It's not about being a fancy chef. It's about understanding a few basic principles of heat and technique. It's about taking a humble ingredient and treating it with a little bit of care and attention. The skills you learned today, how to heat a pan, how to manage temperature, how to handle a delicate ingredient, are the building blocks for all other cooking. If you can master the fried egg, you can learn to cook anything. I encourage you to practice. Eggs are not very expensive, so don't be afraid to experiment. Try cooking one with butter and one with oil to see which you prefer. Try making each of the different styles, sunny side up, over easy, medium, and well, to find your favorite. Pay attention to the sounds, the smells, and the sights in the pan. That is how you learn. That is how you develop a cook's intuition. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. I hope you feel empowered and inspired to get into your kitchen and make yourself a delicious fried egg. You have the knowledge. You have the tools. Now go and cook something wonderful. You deserve it.